My life has been full of adventure. I'm a former WWE superstar known as Tyler Reks. I'm also the founder of Body Spartan, where my goal was to motivate as many people throughout the world as possible and to inspire them to make lasting change in their life. To never care what people think, to always chase their dreams, their hopes, their desires, and to be their true, authentic self. My name is Gabe, Gabbie Tuft, and I'm transitioning from male to female.
And I'm in love with the good life.
So I'm sure right now your question is why? Why would a male fitness icon that's 280 pounds and about 8% body fat want to transition to female? And that is a question that I struggled with for a very long time, and that was the source of a lot of my pain. And it goes way, way back. So my earliest memory of me being curious about the female side of me was when I was about 4 years old. I was in my room, and I remember I was stuffing toys up my shirt, as many as I could. I remember the more I stuffed in my stomach, the more excited I got. And I remember my mom walking in and saying, "Sweetheart, what are you doing?" And of course, nothing, my mom didn't do anything wrong at all. She just came in and was like, "What are you doing, sweetie?" And I told her, I said, "Look, Mommy, I'm pregnant." She looks at me and of course does what every mom would do and said, "Oh, sweetheart, we don't do that. That boys don't do that. That's for girls. Girls are the ones that get pregnant." So I said, "Oh, okay." And then when I was about 10 years old, I remember sneaking into my mom's room, my mom and dad's room when nobody's home, and going into her closet and trying on her clothes. And I got really excited when I would do that, and it felt right. But as we get older, in high school and elementary school even, it's beat into us men, or us boys, that anything feminine is for girls. And we don't touch that or else we get beat up or we get made fun of. But I buried everything. And when I got into bodybuilding in my 20s, it was the easiest way to go as far away from the feminine side as possible.
Yeah, right there, right there. Okay, come on. Right there, come on. Squeeze, squeeze, come on.
This interview, this video is about full transparency. And I don't want to hide anything anymore. There's nothing to hide. I'm here, I'm out. And yes, I injected every steroid I could possibly think of to get as big as possible. And in WWE, they did drug tests, so I wasn't able to use steroids in WWE, but I was still able to stay big, stay large, and I grew a big beard, and the bigger my beard was, the more masculine I was. And then after WWE, I got huge. Some of those feelings resurfaced. They came back, and the easiest way to get rid of them was to get bigger, grow my beard longer, shave the sides of my head. I had huge dreadlocks that were down to my butt. If you crossed the mountain in Game of Thrones and Ragnar from Vikings, that was kind of the look and persona that I have. I had an iron will in the gym. I felt invincible and unstoppable, and it created this mindset where I felt like I could push through anything in my life, and I wanted to share that with people. I think it was about 3 years ago when I really started exploring more of my feminine side, and of course it happened, usually like it does in the bedroom. And I found myself dressing up. And the more and more I would dress up after my daughter would go to sleep at night, the more it felt right. When lockdown happened, when COVID hit, it's like an ongoing party. And so every night it was, a little whiskey, a little wine, and then my daughter would go to sleep, and then I would put on a wig, put on my makeup, and actually it was really fun. Priscilla was the one who taught me, my wife, how to do my makeup. I was me for the first time ever. And what I found is that when the day was over, or the night was over, and it was time to go to bed and take off the hair and take off the makeup, it became emotionally painful to where I would stare in the mirror and I would want to cry. And this is me, I was still 260 at this point. I was huge. I was still a gigantic bodybuilder at that point. But I remember so many times looking in the mirror and just the first thing I would take off is the wig. And then I would grab the makeup remover and I would slowly take off the face. And there are many times when I felt myself wanting to cry over it. And it started to feel like more and more what was happening was when I was Gabbie, that was real life. And taking off the wig, the makeup, removing the feminine persona was the show. And sometime during the summer, Priscilla came to me and she said, look, I love you, and I love that you can be you, and I love our talks together, but I have to be honest with you, I'm not sexually attracted to females. And when you're not dressed up in the next day, and I see you, I still have an image in my head of you dressed up like a female. I instantaneously thought to myself, okay, this has to stop. It's gotta go. And so I did that. I said, okay, I totally understand. And I'd been off cycle for, God, 4 months. I had an open heart surgery July 2019. I'd been given a second chance. And so I was thinking I was kind of throwing it away. But when Priscilla said that night, I remember going into the closet in the bathroom, and I reached up to where we call it gear, where I keep all my gear, and I pulled out a syringe and I loaded up a huge dose of test and a huge dose of, I don't even remember what it was. I think it actually was Tren. And I remember I sat here with the syringe, and then I pushed it into my shoulder. And I remember very specifically when I was pushing the plunger down, I remember feeling Gabbie's light extinguish. The more I pushed the plunger down, the more I could feel Gabbie dying, to the point where her light was getting smaller and smaller and dimming and dimming. And I remember when I pushed it all the way down, I thought I had killed her, and I thought she was gone. The more I was not Gabbie, the more painful every day became. I would walk into my closet, and I had my wigs on the left side of my closet, and I remember very vividly, I would look at them every day, and I just, no, don't, that time of your life is over. I don't know why I didn't throw them out. I still had all my clothes and stuff too. And then it went from looking at them to staring at them for a while to actually reaching out. I remember touching one and just running my fingers through it and being so sad. And I remember thinking, I didn't kill her. She's still there. And that was the moment I realized that Gabbie and Gabe were not two separate people. I didn't have two separate personas. They were one. I was just hiding my true self. And every day after that became more and more painful. I remember feeling like there was just this weight on me. This weight, if you could picture chains around your heart, just heavy chains just wrapped tight around your heart and pulling down and weighing you down so that no matter what you did during the day, you just felt like you couldn't take another step, and it was hard to breathe. And I became incredibly depressed, and I had visions of me just putting a gun to my head. I've got firearms, I've got guns in my closet, I've got guns hidden in places in my house, and I shoot all the time. But I remember thinking and having this vision of what it would be like to feel the cold steel of the barrel against my temple. Like every day was getting harder and harder, and here I am, the guy that would tell everybody, never give up. When things get hard, we pick ourselves up off the pavement, we scrape ourselves up off the pavement, and we keep going. And my light was fading. For the first time in my entire life, I was no longer a leader. I was dying inside. It was even worse for thinking that my brother had done the same thing 7 years ago. And it was because I just didn't want to live another day in this body. And Priscilla had seen me in this state. She sat down and said, hey, do you want to talk? And I couldn't even muster words out of my mouth. I was so depressed. And then she moved from the chair she was sitting in to alongside of me. We have a love seat out front on our patio. And she leaned in and said, sweetheart, is there something that you need to tell me? I remember saying, I thought I killed her. I thought I killed Gabbie, and I didn't. She's still here. And I remember saying that if I I would rather die than not live another day as a woman. And Priscilla leaned over and she gave me a gigantic hug and looked me in the eyes and she said, sweetheart, I know, and it's okay, and I love you. I support you 100%. She said, things are gonna change, but we'll figure it out. It's gonna be different. I don't know what it's gonna look like, but we will figure it out. That moment, it was like a gigantic weight was lifted off my shoulders. I felt the life come back into me, and I felt like my heart ignite, and I knew that I was free. But I knew that's when I was okay to transition, so I did the only thing that I knew how to do, and I started dropping muscle mass. I don't want to be a 260-pound female. I don't want to be a huge bodybuilder female. I want to ultimately be passable. I'm at 215 right now. I've lost, gosh, I started at 260, so whatever the math is on that. So 35, 40 pounds almost, give or take. I was 260, 265, and it's been over about 3 months. But I remember the day after she told me it was okay, I made a call and I found a doctor and I got on hormone therapy. I got on female hormones. So yeah, things are gonna change. I'm already seeing facial changes. The fat deposits in my face are changing. I'm losing muscle mass quickly, but I don't wanna stop there. Down the road, once I find enough, a way to pay for it, I am planning on having facial feminization surgery. Breast augmentation is something that's coming. I don't know when. I'm hoping that the estrogen does what it's supposed to do. Maybe I'll be happy with what I get. Maybe I won't. I don't know. I want to feel feminine. I want to be passable. And so yeah, trachea's gonna get shaved. There's vocal surgery that will need to happen. This was the hardest decision I'd ever made, and it's because I was afraid. My company, Body Spartan, is 90% male demographic, and I am not sure how the men that I have led as a man are going to take this. What I can say to everyone that's followed me, to everyone that's looked up to me, to everyone that has been inspired by my videos and by what I've put out in the past, I've always told you to follow your dreams, and I've always told you to be you, and to not care what other people think. And here I was, cowering in a corner, so afraid of what the world would think. Here I was, for months, locked inside my house, not going out, not being me, because I was afraid of what people would think. And I just want you to know that it holds true no matter what. I don't care what other people think anymore. I don't care if people are disappointed. I know that this is me and I'm happier than I've ever been. And I know that some people will hate, but I always say, fuck the haters. They're gonna be there, it just means you're on the right path. And there are gonna be people that support and love, and I'm just gonna say ahead of time, thank you. Every person that comments, that texts me, that messages me, that reminds me that they love me, no matter no matter what I look like, but for more who I am, it means more than you will ever know. I know that there are people, thousands of people in my situation that are going through similar feelings, similar emotions, that are feeling suicidal, that don't have the support that I have, that don't have a wife that still loves them and understands and supports. I know that you're out there, and I plan to do what I did for Body Spartan, where I motivated and inspired the masses, and I shared my story of my life. I'm gonna do the same thing. I promise to always be transparent, I promise to give the truth. I'm here to help. I wanna be a light. I wanna let you know that you're supported. I wanna let you know that I'm gonna share my entire journey. I want you to know that you're loved. And I want the world to know that this is me.
And I'm in love with the good life.